Hi and welcome to my channel, it's Anna here. Today I am doing a process video that is stash busting again. I'm also going to be including some papers and ephemera from the Like Forever June kit, which is in Bloom. And as you can see, I'm using some Kaisercraft Project Life cards. I've pulled in some wooden pieces and some Coordinations whitewash cardstock, I think it is, and I've just run this through an embossing folder, which is I think from Craft Concepts, and it's the grungy dots. I've just sanded that off and I'm giving it a wipe off, and then I'm going to ink it with some evergreen bough. And the cardstock itself is kind of a tealy blue or a turquoisey blue, with a sort of a chalky white finish on one side, which you can emboss and then sand off. And I'm just inking over it just to raise some of those, show off some of those edges that have been sanded, and I've just torn one edge. And I do eventually tear this into two pieces, and you don't get to see a lot of it on the page, but it just adds an extra little bit of texture. Now I'm just using a stencil from Crafter's Workshop, and I've just added a little bit of ink into the background using evergreen bough distress ink, and now I'm doing some stamping with some Bow Bunny texture stamps. This one has got sort of a scratchy texture and a bubble wrap. You have seen me use this in other videos. It's got some really great textures in this collection. So I'm just using up some scraps from paper from the June Like Forever kit. This is the Carpe Diem paper, and I'm just gonna tear some off and ink all the edges. And I'm going to do the same to this piece of cardstock, which I'm going to use to mat my photograph onto. And this photograph was taken in Whitby for my day out at the seaside. Fossil hunting, we tend to go to Whitby about once or twice a year, and we park at Saltwick Bay and we walk along the beach usually if the sea's out, and I liked fossil hunt because it's part of the Jurassic coast, and it's really great for fossil collecting. And my husband likes to take photographs. He got some fantastic photos of Black Nab, which is sort of a rock formation out near Saltwick Bay. There's also Saltwick Bay or Saltwick Nab as well, which is fantastic. And you can, if the sea's out, you can go and walk around them, and there's a wreck out there as well, which is really interesting to go and look at. But you have to be really careful because the sea comes in so fast. We have nearly got caught out once, never again. It was a bit scary. So I'm just layering up these torn pieces of paper and deciding where I want to put them. And I'm going to use some of this washi tape from Life in Colour Simple Stories. I don't use a lot, but it just adds a little bit something extra. It's a slightly darker sort of teal colour to the background, to the backing papers. So this photograph is of my hubby and my puppy Bailey on the beach. It was the first time he's actually been on a to the seaside properly, where he could run about, and he just went crazy. He thought it was fantastic. He just kept racing from me to my husband and back again, and every so often we'd see him disappear into a rock pool. He had an absolute whale of a time. So I'm just sort of using up some of those Project Life cards now, and I'm going to layer them up. And I just take this off and trim around the today that's at the top of this card. That's where I've disappeared to. just so that I can tuck it behind the photograph so that it just pops over the photograph. And although I put all this stamping and texture onto the cardstock, you don't actually see an awful lot of it at the end, but I know it's there, and it just adds more layers. So I'm going to tear down this Project Life card, which is from the Seabreeze Kaisercraft collection. And I think the actual collection is called something like Blue Bay, but the Project Life cards are called Seabreeze, which is very strange. I don't know why they've got a different name, but they're all part of the same collection. But I really like that Project Life card. It's got sort of all different kinds of doors on it, and old doors with bits of wood and textury stuff. It's really nice. I really wanted to put this little envelope and tag on, but it wasn't working and I couldn't get it to fit where I wanted it to. So I'm just going through all my ephemera, pulling out pieces that match, and I try this anchor everywhere, and I eventually stick it down over the top of that hello sticker, and then realise that you can't actually read the hello. So I end up pulling everything up so that I can stick it back down again underneath. And a few of these pieces are actually from the Kaisercraft Blue Bay collection. There are wooden pieces from Cocoa Vanilla Totally Rad. And this little denim star is from a shop here in the UK called The Range, and it's one of their Bare Basics line, I think, which is sort of, they have lots of lovely craft products and sort of canvas and denim and burlap and all that kind of stuff. It's really nice. What am I doing? Oh, I'm still messing with getting that little cluster to go together. I just think I'm struggling with my glue at the moment. I did put my glossy accents into one of the fine liner bottles, but for some reason the nozzle clogged and I couldn't get it unclogged for love nor money. It was really annoying considering how expensive those nozzles are. So I'm still playing with that anchor. And as you can see, I stick it down and then realise I don't want it like that and pull everything up. So I'll keep trying to get these puffy stickers, I think they're from Lawn Fawn, onto a layout. I haven't actually got any on a layout yet. As much as I love them, I feel like they're too shiny for my layouts, and I love silver. I prefer silver to gold, but I'm struggling to actually get them onto a layout at the minute. So I don't think I do that much more to this layout, and I will do a thumbs up and think, oh yeah, I've finished, and then realise I haven't put my title on. I'm just going to add a little bit of twine to the star at the top. And when I do eventually realise that I haven't put my title on, I will grab some Bella Boulevard Chipboard Basics. I'm just adding some Nouveau drops, and the blue star at the bottom is a star that I made using polymer clay with a mould. I think actually it's a silicone mould for cake decorating, I just picked it up at our local supermarket, and it's really great for doing polymer clay shapes. So I pulled out these Bella Boulevard basics, chipboard basics, and I decided I want to ink it, but I catch the paper with the ink blender and it kind of scuffs all underneath, so I spray it to try and fix it, and then the splatters that I put on hadn't dried, so I smudged them, and I feel like I'm making a complete mess of it. But in the end, actually it looks quite nice. Spraying it did soften it, and I'm just trying to fix my spots that I put on. And trying to get it to stop bleeding everywhere. And I did go away leave this to dry after I'd put the Nouveau drops on, so you can see me handling it, but I had actually left it to dry and gone back to it afterwards, and that's when I realised I'd not put my title on. So they were dry when I started messing about with it again. Again, this is just a piece of Heidi Swap paper from my stash. And I think in my last video I asked if people had a preferred colour that they like to scrapbook with. I definitely like blue, and when I've gone through my stash, I've realised I have a ton of blue stuff, or should I say more teals and turquoises and aquas. I didn't realise I'd got so much stuff, so I really need to get that used up. So I'm just drying it off, and I think I should be just about done. And I'm still messing about trying to get, I think when I sprayed, I kind of made some of the spots bleed. But that's about it. So thank you for liking, subscribing and commenting, and I really want to say thank you to all my new subscribers and welcome.